I wasn't gonna see Lil Wayne go to jail for that. Like, you know, it wasn't serious enough. He would have got 3 years.
That's a long time.
Because they were looking to give him 3 years, but they had made a deal. He got 6 months. But this guy, the DA, was so pissed that she wrote a letter censored to this guy to force him off the job. They forced him off the job. They got rid of him.
Remember, what was it? 2007. Lil Wayne and Ja Rule get locked up for having a gun.
I know you want to bring that up.
I have to. I'm sorry.
That's a personal case, man. I don't know if I should say anything.
Let's keep it positive. Well, they get locked up. Lil Wayne was facing 3 years, but he actually got, what was it, 6 or 8 months because of you, actually.
Yes, that is very much true.
So, Lil Wayne should thank you. Lil Wayne fans.
Lil Wayne owes me.
He needs to give you some tickets.
No, I don't. Listen, he is who he is, but at that particular time, I don't like to see someone who's involved in something get something that's not rightfully so. What I mean by that is that if you commit a crime and you do something, okay, you do the crime. But if something else happened by other means and it was like a setup or it was this or that, I don't think it's fair for the person to go and do the time for that. You know, at the time, what happened with Lil Wayne was that they pulled him over on a tour bus, and it was a concert up at the Beacon Theater in Manhattan. And I had told the promoter, Lenny the Barber, I said, Lenny, you can't have no party up here without notifying the police, man, and community. He said, Derrick, this is just a concert. So what? I said, so what? You up here in Upper Manhattan where people got money. You bring all these rappers up here, you gonna have a problem. So he was like, okay, so we had a big meeting. I was at the meeting with the inspector. Two of the inspectors knew me, they were friends, they were brothers. And one of the inspectors wanted me at the meeting. And he said, Derrick, I want you here because you know everything about what's going on with these people. And there were certain guys within the department that were haters, as they call. And these haters tried to say I wasn't at this meeting when this thing went down because they arrested Lil Wayne and they arrested Ja Rule. Now, Ja Rule was taken in a car in a separate thing. That was something separate.
Right.
They get a defaced firearm at the time. The thing with Lil Wayne was that when he was taken on the tour bus, I remember they wanted me to ride on the tour bus with them from the hotel to the Beacon. And I was like, nah, man, I can't ride on the bus with 50 dudes that I don't even know. And, you know, I don't know what these dudes got. If they carrying something, if they got something or whatever. But it turns out he had a gun, right? And what happened was that the gun was supposedly found by one person, and some person said it was found by them, by another person. So that was a problem. That was the first problem. And the hater, who I could describe in this topic,
right.
lied basically and said somebody to say you found the gun. So when the trial came, the DA was mad at me. And I had talked to her too. We were friends before that. She said, you don't know what you're talking about. You weren't there. You don't know anything. And I was like, wow, this lady, she's really against me. So the judge and I were talking in the trial because I think Stacey Richmond had the case. You know, Don't Worry Murray's daughter. Don't Worry Murray. Murray Richmond, that was his daughter. Mm-hmm. Stacey Richmond. She's good people. So I went on trial and then I talked to the judge, and the judge and I, you know, we knew certain people. And he's like, well, detective, they're saying that you weren't at this meeting and you don't know what you're talking about. I said, well, would it be okay if I showed you the minutes of the meeting? Because I had everything written down. And you had to see the DA's face. She was like, in total shock, bro. She was like pissed right. Beyond belief. She took the hater outside and she screamed on him and yelled at him. And eventually, I was right there watching. Because prior to that, when I was on the job, there was a concert down in Atlantic City where P. Diddy was down there with Busta Rhymes. There was a concert down there, and then Atlantic PD called me. And I went down there just to monitor the concert because they wanted some help. Apparently in Atlantic City, they had a homicide at a big event where somebody got killed. It was like a fight or something. I don't know if it was Tyson or somebody. There was a big event down there that somebody got killed. And they were saying, like, you know, they knew a lot of rappers came down. So they were saying, Derrick, look, we need you to come down. And I've always done that. I went down to Miami. I went to Los Angeles. I went to Las Vegas. I've been to a lot of places where a lot of police departments helping them. So they wanted me to come down. And of course, the hater back then said to, the department, well, Derrick was down there and his brother was down there. My brother was down there, but he had came down on a computer convention. He's like, he's into the computer stuff and things like that. And he was down there with people that worked with him, and he wanted to come see me. And they said, well, look, he could come see you, but he just can't be backstage when you're working. He's going to watch the concert. It was a concert. And this guy made some disparaging remarks. And the next, IEB is interviewing me. And I'm like, okay, and what's this about? Because I never had no problems.
Right.
But that hater then tried to sabotage my career in a way back then. In a way, he tried to say some disparaging remarks against me. But later on, when this thing happened with Lil Wayne, he got back. He got him back. He got back what he dished out.
Right, you got him back.
Yes, and then, it wasn't just me, but it was what he did.
Right.
And he lied, out and out lied. And I wasn't going to see Lil Wayne go to jail for that. Like, it wasn't serious enough. He would have got 3 years.
That's a long time.
Because they were looking to give him 3 years, but they had made a deal. He got 6 months. But this guy, the DA, was so pissed that she wrote a letter censored to this guy to force him off the job. They forced him off the job. They got rid of him.
So you don't know what he's doing now?
No, I couldn't care less. but this is what happened when I was in the rap music department in the police department. There were a lot of detectives and cops that wanted to be where I was. Why? Because they saw it to be exciting.
Right.
Wow, this guy's dealing with rappers, man. He's going to be going on tour with them. I'm not going on tour with anybody. But they said, he's going to be going out to do cases with them. He's going to meet certain people. Listen, the hierarchy in the job interviewed me. And they said, Derrick, we knew that you have a promoter background, like you were a promoter back in the days, and you did stuff with clubs and parties. We want to make sure that you can't be corrupted by this industry. Right. Where you're going to turn and become one of them. As this is what they put it. Go to the dark side.
Right, rogue.
Some inspector said that when you're going to the dark side. And I never forget this college professor I was dealing with was so pissed at him. What do you mean? The guy can't go out and do a job? Why would you label him like that? Why are you labeling people? He was really pissed at that inspector because we were at a police conference. So, but a lot of people wanted to be where I was because you travel, you go places. I'm going to LA, I'm going to Vegas, I'm going here, getting into hotels. I wasn't one to go out and pick up girls. That's not my thing. If I'm working, I'm working. Right. I'm really dealing with the police departments. Maybe we go out to dinner, some of the cops and everything else. Like when the LAPD guys came here from Los Angeles, we all went out to dinner. I took them out to dinner privately, doing the Biggie case, because I had to talk to them privately. Because there was another hater who went out and wasn't sharing information with them, and they didn't trust him. And that was another NYPD guy. So these things happen because people get involved in certain situations and they don't work well with others, or they try to deceive and hide information that should be brought out, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah. And then people don't trust them. And listen, don't think that the police department trusted me, LAPD trusted me at first, because they had to sit down and I had to talk with them in a private meeting. Outside of what we were doing, to let them know I'm here with you guys. I don't like that guy anyway. so I'm not going to sit up here and then lie to you and tell you this and that. But it did work out in a favor where I sat with these individuals and things worked out. But a lot of guys say, hey man, how can I get into that unit? How can I work with you? Can I be your partner? Can I do this? And the police department didn't really want all of that because they already knew what it was. And then there was certain things that went on too back then. I didn't want certain things to be out, like a binder. Remember I made this binder? Right. That was a whole big thing, and that's a whole other story. And I said I didn't want this to be out because in the mob cases with all the Columbos and the Gambino crime families, you can't even peek at anything those guys are involved unless you get 3 signatures and a master lock key. Wow. Like a vault, because you can't get into stuff like that. But the rap stuff, they were like, yeah, but Derrick, if you're not around, people want to know. And I said, but everybody should know because these people in that industry where they are influential and have a lot of money as well. Only problem is they wanted to get away because they had criminal records. If they had criminal records, then you could look into things, But everybody wanted to be, and there was a lot of jealousy. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't me. I got asked to be where I was at. But there was a lot of jealousy too in the department. And and it happens with a lot of cops, A lot of guys don't work well together because guys have egos. And they feel that I'm more superior than you are, I'm smarter than you are. And I was never like that. I don't mind working with other people. I loved it in a way. Right. Because you get to meet new guys from different cities, you become friends with them. If you know, you go down to their city, if they need something, they call you. You call them.
Right.
It was always good that way. But you know, there's a lot of guys that weren't good for certain things. You know.
Right. Did Lil Wayne at least thank you?
He thanked me at the trial. He shook my hand. But I haven't seen Lil Wayne in years.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.